sun come out on my road. The waves are so pretty.
Scoot over, I'm getting it.
Intelexx here. Welcome to Lifin with Lex, where we talk about a variety of topics surrounding life, because life be lifin', right? Yes, definitely working out to keep the stress level down, because life be lifin' and people will try you. Okay, but don't worry, because there is one thing that we gotta do. And listen, check the message here. Okay, start each day with a grateful heart. Yeah.
Everybody get in the picture, get in the video. Hey, we out here.
Definitely got to be around the family, but self-care is a must. So you need that isolation because, baby, but most importantly, enjoying life, because you only get one, right? And a part of life is building relationships. Definitely got to have that. And definitely got to stay on point with the learning, because knowledge is power. Okay? And not only that, applying it. Yes, that's right. Putting that knowledge to work and doing the work for the greater good. You heard me? Make sure to tune in and tap in to this episode to see what we're going to talk about today. Hello, welcome to Lifin with Lex. That's right, Lifin with your girl. Life be lifin', right? Okay, so we are winding down. This is our last episode of this season. Thank you so much for rocking out with me and for believing in me. This is all new to me, y'all. Okay, I am very private. I do not share my life with the world. Kudos to those who are in the public light, who don't really have a choice, where their every move basically is out in the open. Your girl is not like that and probably never will be. And even if I was in the light, some things will not be shining, okay? But thank you so much for tuning in to our last episode of this season. It is our 10th episode. Yes, y'all been rocking out with me for a while now. And I thought that it would be a great way to end the season by getting really, really intimate and really personal. So we are going to focus on me standing for something or fall. My foundation, my beliefs. All right. And so this is something that I get a lot of the time, believe it or not. A lot of people like to assume what I believe, what I stand for, what my foundations are. And to be honest, my life is my testimony. I live what I believe. And so people who have different doubts about what I might stand for or where my foundation truly is, at the end of the day, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I grew up in a faith household, and it wasn't even because I grew up in that type of household. I just naturally and organically gravitated to God at a really young age, to where some of my family members might not have been that interested, and I was like, oh, I need to know. I want to know everything about who God is and what He wants for my life. And so my foundation makes up everything else. Without my belief and my faith system, I wouldn't have anything else, because that's where everything for me stems from. And so when it comes to having that faith and walking in that faith, that's something that I have always done. Maybe not to the extent of where I'm at now, but it's always been a part of my life. And when I have done things to venture off from that, it definitely affected how I lived and how I behaved and who I interacted with or didn't interact with. All right, so I believe that that foundation is everything, okay? Everything. All right, and there was a point in my life where I used to lie about my age. I used to um, make myself older, because I didn't think my age at that time was, significant enough to where I could just say it by myself. And I say, I'm 12 or I'm 16 or I'm 10. And, I always felt like my age was frowned upon. And so that was something, that's a character issue, right? That's a character flaw. And like getting older and just embracing me and loving me and knowing who I am in God, knowing where I come from and where my value lies. It doesn't matter, whether or not people gravitate towards what I believe to be true, whether or not people gravitate towards my truth. I'm not going to dumb down my truth for someone else. And that's something I have to grow into. All right, because a lot of times I would be more focused on how someone will receive what I'm saying, and the delivery of it and the message of it will get watered down because I'm more focused on someone else's feelings. But the truth is the truth, regardless of how you put it. Now, I do believe delivery has a caveat, and it definitely um, makes much more of an impact based on how you deliver the message, because a lot of times people could get lost if you don't deliver it right. So I do believe speaking out of love and in love when you are relaying certain messages is definitely something to keep in mind. But at the same time, just because you're doing it in love does not mean for you to sugarcoat what you're saying. All right, you can say something, mean what you say, not take anything back, and people still get offended. And so something that I had to grow into is to walk in my truth regardless of who accepts it or not, because at the end of the day, no one can live my life but me. And so my foundation was built on not lying, not stealing, not using profanity, um, just living a righteous life, being honest about who I am, being in obedience, right? You cannot say you love and you're disobedient, because that's one form of showing that you love someone is by listening and being obedient to what's being told. And so, I grew up with pretty good principles to where, they say um, when you teach them as a child, they won't stem too far from that when they get older. A lot of things that I grew up learning, I still apply to my life today. Having integrity, building good character. One of my favorite books is Proverbs, because it's the wisdom book. You learn so much in there, right? Now, over the years, going to seminary school, being exposed to multiple religions, I have studied multiple religions and multiple beliefs. And there is a lot of controversy when it comes to different beliefs. And I'm, I always thought to myself, if I grew up in India, would I be Hindu? Or would I be atheist? Or, whatever the religion was in that country, if I grew up that way, would that be my belief? And I believe a lot of times, if you grow up in a family with a specific belief, more oftentimes than not, you are going to fall into that. And if you're not doing your own research, you're kind of just doing it, because it's been taught to you and because you grew up in it, that's all you know. But it's a different level when you actually study for yourself and you learn what it is that you are actually taught to believe. Like for me, I did my own study and I did my own research and I learned about everything that I needed to know in order to be, uh, for lack of better words, comfortable and sturdy in my foundation to where no one else could shake that. Because at the end of the day, it's not what I was told to believe, it's what I believe. Okay. So when it comes to having moral standards as a part of my foundation, right? You know, there's an example. So there is someone who is just a habitual stealer. They, go to different stores and they steal different things for the fun of it, because of circumstances to where they don't have anything, so they're stealing. And then they get caught, then they get a record. And then when they get home, it's like, well, I need to get a job, but I can't get one because of my record, so I'm going to go steal again. That's one scenario. Another scenario is, let's say if it's someone who has children, you ran out of food, you got a newborn, the newborn needs some milk, you don't have it, so you go to the store and steal for the baby, right? Are they both wrong? Stealing is wrong, yes. However, when it comes to circumstances and intentionality, that makes all of the difference. And so, a lot of times, people assume someone believes something based on what they say. And that's something that really irritates me because we all say a lot of things. We do. We say a bunch of stuff. Some stuff we believe, some stuff we don't. Some stuff we might say just to get somebody's attention. We might say something in the heat of the moment. We might blurt something out and don't really mean it. Like at the end of the day, what you practice is what you believe. So it doesn't matter what you call yourself at all, And as you can tell, I never called myself anything. I said that I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and my life is my testimony. What I practice is what I believe. And so if you are around me, and if you know me, and if you see me, you will know what I believe. It is without a doubt very clear. Okay, I'm not out here running the streets. I'm not out here clubbing. I'm not out here, hanging out late at night. I'm not hanging out with certain people who might drink or smoke or things of that nature. I don't do any of that. So I'm not going to associate myself with company that goes against what I believe. Okay? And that's something that we can all learn to do, is to create those boundaries and have those standards to where, despite how long you might know somebody, if they're not good for you, they're not good for you. Period. Okay? Okay. Period. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's really not what you call yourself. It's really not. And I think a lot of times people get so caught up in titles. Oh, I'm Jewish. Oh, I'm Christian. I'm Muslim. I'm Hebrew. I'm an atheist. I'm agnostic. But when those actions don't fall in line with what you call yourself, What are people going to actually believe about you? What you say or what you do? Right. What you do. All right. And so I'm not concerned about what people think I believe or what they might have known about me 10 years ago. I'm not that person today. I have way more knowledge. I have way more study. I have deepened my relationship with God, and I know where I stand, and it's not up to anyone else to decide where I'm at, who I fall in line with, what my belief system is, what my religion is. That's nobody's business, to be honest. you know, I feel like the only business that is really worth peeping into is doing my due diligence of making sure people know who God is and bringing them to the truth. That's the business that needs to be. That's the main business. That's all the business ain't. That's all you need to know. Bringing them to God, allowing them to build their relationship with Him so that they can know Him for themselves, and sharing that with someone else. That is it. You know, because a lot of times people get so caught up in titles and you have to do it this way, this has to be done that way, and or because you believe differently than I believe, we cannot hang out or we cannot talk and have a civilized conversation, when that's not the case. I feel like a lot of people can be closed-minded when it comes to faith and belief, because everybody believes that what they believe is the end all be all and everybody else is wrong. But I believe that there is truth in everything. There's truth in a lie. And if you don't actively seek out the truth because of closed-mindedness, you are not going to be open to hearing it or receiving it based on who it comes from. And I think that is the issue that we have with so many people, is because everyone is so closed-minded with learning something else from someone else that might look different. You might not like the person, you might not, vibe with what they got going on, but there might be truth that you need to hear from them. And because you refuse to open your heart and your mind and your ears, you miss out on what is meant for you. As I say with everything, you separate the meat from the bones, okay? So when it comes to my foundation, I have been rooted in belief and faith when it comes to having a relationship with God. I believe no one can force me to believe anything. No one can put it on me. You can influence somebody, you can give suggestions, but at the end of the day, that person has to choose it for themselves. I chose God at a young age, and even though I've been through different things to where I've gone back and forth and I've questioned God, and I've been like, why did this happen? Why did you allow this to happen? Why did I have to lose this? Or why did I get separated from that? Or why did this test happen? I've never had a time where I'm just like, screw God, I don't care about Him. He don't exist in my book. That's never been me. God will always exist regardless of what I go through. If I'm upset at Him, if something happens to where I'm not talking to Him and I'm like, I need a minute to gather my thoughts because I don't want to cuss you out for something that I feel like you did, or you allowed to happen. At the end of the day, I will always pray. I will always talk to God, regardless of what's going on in my life. At my lowest moments, all of the things I've been through, all the losses I've had when it comes to my personal losses, family, friends, jobs, things, I have always stayed connected to God. And I feel like having that foundation and that faith system actually helped me to get through everything that I've been through. And so one of the things that I just want to share with you all is stop worrying about what other people think, Because at the end of the day, your walk is your walk, and you are accountable for what you know and for what you believe. So if you are someone who has strong faith and strong beliefs, and you are not doing anything to enhance the kingdom of God, then it's really all talk. Because at the end of the day, love is not just a word, it's not just a noun, it's an action, it's what you do. And so when you are walking in faith, people should see you because your fruits show the tree, okay? And a tree that is good will bear good fruit. A tree that's bad will bear bad fruit. So at the end of the day, whatever you do and whatever you believe will be known by its fruits, what you produce. If you're not producing anything, you're just talking. It's empty speech. It's fluff. It's, hot air. God's not pleased with just talk. He tests us because he doesn't just believe what we say. When we say we love him, or when we say we want to have a relationship with him, or we want to, do all these things for him, he will test us to find out if that's what we really want to do. Because talk is cheap. It's cheap. It really is. At the end of the day, it's not about what you call yourself. I don't care what you call yourself. What do you do? What are you known for? What do people call you? And that's something that I think about even for my own life. What have I done to make a difference? Who have I brought into the knowledge of God, into the knowledge of self? Who have I shared the gospel with, the truth with? Who has been impacted by my life? I am a walking testimony. And, how many people can say that I've helped them to change their life based on what I've done? Whether it's feeding the homeless, whether it's giving away food or giving away clothes, or volunteering, or giving away money, or giving scriptures out, or sharing something that was powerful when it comes to truth. Whatever that might be, did I impact somebody else's life? That's what I care about. Because at the end of the day, the most important relationship that I will ever have is the one that I have with God. And that's the most important relationship that I want for you all to have. Beliefs and that foundation is something that a lot of us don't talk about. Why? It's kind of frowned upon, but I'm not going to deny who I am and what I believe for somebody else to feel good. Because at the end of the day, somebody else's life could be at stake because I'm refusing to share what I know and what I believe. I'm going to share it. I love God. I love Jesus. I love walking in this truth. It's not easy. And I don't want you to be fooled in thinking that it's easy. It is not easy. Because when you sign up to walk with God, you sign up for a life of trials and a life of testing. And it's going to be struggle. And the struggle is real. I told you, life be lifing. Okay? That's the whole reason why this season and this podcast is called Lifin with Lex. Because it's life be lifing. Okay? So you're going to go through some stuff. All right? And the more you desire to draw closer to God, the more tests you're going to experience. The more things you're going to experience. But the struggle is worth it. Because it teaches you not only yourself, it teaches you how to fall in line and to fall in love with God. And certain things start to reveal itself the more you go through life, the more you experience, okay? Certain things I would never have understood if I didn't go through them. certain things would not have been revealed to me if I did not have that tenacity to keep going, if I did not continue to seek God, if I did not continue to be consistent and to continue to grow. Okay. Now, as far as like what I believe and my foundation, it really is who I am. It really is like I don't know who I am without God. Like he makes up everything that I do. And that's just as simple as that. And having that faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Like, it's just something that's in me, that's on me. And I hope that everyone I come in contact with knows that I have a relationship with God, because that's not something that I hide. And that's not something that I ever want to hide. It's just who I am. It's a part of me. I believe that just like every other thing has a manual to how it works. Gadgets, they have manuals. If you build something, it has a manual on how it's supposed to look and how it's supposed to be built. I feel like God is the creator of all of us. And in order for us to know how we are created, how we're supposed to act, and how we're supposed to be, we got to go back to the source. God is my source, so I have to be in touch with Him in order to know how I need to be. All right. And so, just like this episode's title, Stand for Something or Fall, if you are all over the place and you don't know where you stand, you don't know what your belief system is, you don't know who you are or whose you are, you will fall for anything. All right. And don't just take somebody's word for it. Like, if you're in church, don't just believe the pastor's word. If you're in the synagogue, don't believe the minister's word. If you're in the temple, if you're in the mosque, don't just believe the minister's word. Study for yourself, right? Like I said, nobody can have a relationship, nobody can build that belief system up but you. And if the only word that you get is on Sundays or Saturdays or whatever day you go and practice your belief system, that's not enough. That's like eating one time a week. That's not enough nourishment. You need spiritual nourishment daily in order to build it up, because whatever you feed is going to grow. Okay? And so, as I said, I'm standing on faith, I'm standing on truth, my foundation, my belief, and I'm just gonna to give you a list of different people that I listen to that I believe speaks the truth. Okay? Minister Farrakhan speaks the truth. Pastor Darius Daniels speaks the truth. Bishop Keith Reed Sr. speaks the truth. Pastor Waller speaks the truth. Priscilla Shire, Tony Evans, Mike Todd. I know he's controversial, but like I said, you separate the truth from the falsehood, you separate the meat from the bones, okay? All the people that I have been studying and I've been learning from, that I've grown from and I've gotten something from because they've spoken truth in my life, these are the people I'm sharing with you, okay? Joyce Meyer. It's so many. It's definitely not going to be a full list. I'm going off of the top of my head right now. But it's definitely so many people that I've learned from. And those are people that people might know, right? There's so many people who are not in the limelight, who I've learned so much from. Family, friends, associates, people just randomly talking to me. I have gotten so much, okay? And I've built so many different relationships. In my faith, I've gone to so many different places in my faith, right? Don't knock your relationship with God, okay? Because it can take you places that you will never know, never experience, put you in rooms that you never thought you would be in, all right? Exceedingly abundantly, more than you can possibly ask or think. If you trust God and put Him first, it says in the Word that you can only get what you strive hard for, and to trust in the Lord and lean not to your own understandings, and in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path, and to seek first His kingdom and all of His righteousness, and everything else will be added. All we have to do is put Him first, and everything else will be added to us. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. All right, because we can talk about this for forever, and maybe we'll come back. Maybe I'll come back with another episode that talks a little bit more about what I believe in my foundation. But I feel like I covered it. You know, it's not really about what I say I am. It's about how I act. You know, getting the word every week, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, being in ministry. In ministry is not limited to a building. You know, it's based off of what you do. Having my business is a part of my ministry because I'm serving my gift to the world, right? Sharing the truth is a part of ministry because you are sharing what needs to be shared to the world, right? And so, different forms of ministry that I'm in, okay? But yeah, I do my best to make sure that God is at the forefront and that people see Him before they see me. That's my ultimate goal, because everything else will be added to me later, okay? All right, so we are going to get into my favorite part of the episode, which is our mic drop. That's right. Our mic drop. All right, so the mic drop for today is stop being scared. Say it like it is, okay? Whoever does not agree with you is not your problem. Whoever you offend, if you do it unintentionally, how people receive your message is not your problem. Your problem is making sure you get your truth out there and you share that with whoever needs to hear it. How they receive it is not your problem. So stop focusing on that and focus on spreading your truth, okay? Listen, that is the mic drop for tonight. For today, okay? I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in. Wherever you're tuning in from, shout out to you. Thank you so much for rocking out with me and for being here with me. I definitely appreciate all of the love and support. This season, we have officially finished season 1. Stay tuned because next season we're going to be popping. We're going to be off the chain, okay? I can't wait for it, but I appreciate you for tuning in and for really just listening to me and for allowing me to be vulnerable before you, okay? Because I definitely am learning to be more open with who I am in all of my vulnerability. You know, I grew up very quiet and very private, very to myself. And so sharing, period, is hard for me. And being able to just open myself up to you all like this is very new and very freeing. So thank you for sharing, you know, for allowing me to share me with you. I definitely do appreciate it. All right. And, you know, I And just looking forward to having more episodes of you all and for hearing what y'all have to say about this season. I know I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, but what do you want to see on Life and Relax? Because we're going to have some stuff coming up. We're going to have some people come on and share their stories too, because Life and Relax is not just relax. We're going to have some people talk about how life be lifing with them too. All right, so stay tuned. We got some goodies in store for you. But until then, if you have not gotten caught up with all of our episodes, well, all of my episodes, I say us because we in this together, okay? But if you haven't gotten caught up with all the episodes of this season, definitely take this time to check it out. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and all those platforms, and we're on YouTube as well as the app. All right, so if you want to stay connected with me and my business and everything that we got going on, go to Intelexx.com so that we can serve you the way that we need to serve you, so you can be your best self. Okay, join the app, the Artrepreneurs Hub. It's in the Mighty Networks. Search that on your app or Play Store. Look up the Artrepreneurs Hub, and we're right there. All right, so Life and Lex is on there as well. Okay. But listen, thank you once again for tuning in to this episode, Stand for Something or Fall. What my foundation and my beliefs are. Now that you know, you don't gotta ask, all right? And I hope my actions speak for me, okay? All right, well, until next time, I hope you have an amazing day and an awesome rest of your week. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Okay, so keep it real. What did you think? And be honest, y'all, because I really want to know what y'all think. Honest feedback definitely matters, okay? Share your thoughts about it on the Q&A that's attached to the episode on Anchor or Spotify or Apple or all the amazing platforms. If you're on YouTube, make sure to drop a comment. If you want to share a little bit more, but you don't want to do it on those platforms, make sure to email us so that we can share your thoughts on the show. I want you to remember to love yourself.
Trying to level balance out, I meditate all the time. Learn my lesson, turn my blessings into one of a kind. I'm gonna stand up face to face, ain't anything in my way. Mama told me never let my feelings get in the way. I'm waking up like how the hell can I get better today? I gave myself that confirmation, boy, you already great.
Be true to yourself. And when life starts lifing, life back. But don't forget to life relax. Until next time.